Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, grade 12s, depending of course ukuthi umuntu ulaphi nanokuthi what time of the day it is. Of course, we are here, it's Bridgewood Educational Services, and this is Mr. FIkeni. We are here giving you these online classes that you require, not just throughout this COVID-19 period, but generally over the course of time. Ilama classes sobe siwenza as Bridgewood siwenzela nina ukuthi nikwazi ukuthi umuntu aqhubekeke phambili afunde in the extra time. These classes, I do believe ukuthi zizonikeza that extra edge, that extra competitiveness, and also naleyo focus encane nje umuntu ayidingayo masefika ephepheni, to know that they have that extra knowledge that they've been building up for themselves. I think wonke ama-grade 12 njengamanje, they kind of nervous and they kind of worried ukuthi unyaka uzohamba kanjani since kukhona lezi inkinga lezi. But if you definitely stick with us la Bridgewood, we're going to give you the best of everything you require. In front of me, I have ipaper la last year, 2019, a mid-year paper, le Maths Lit. We're going to go into detail kulelo paper lelo, but for now, I also just want to, as a prelude to i-class later or i-start before singing in detail kakhulu, ngifuna ukuthi nginibreakele down kahle kahle ukuthi i-Maths Lit iyini, nanokuthi which types of things should you focus on in Maths Lit if you really want to do well, because I think a number of you guys, sometimes you become overwhelmed, ube nokusaba ukuthi iphepha uzol-approacha kanjani, mhlampe unga-understand ukuthi which places to really place your emphasis on. So before we can even get into the actual teaching and the actual learning eklasini, into engifuna ukuyenza ngifuna ukunichazela nje as much as I can about the information regarding your Maths Lit. Then thereafter, we're going to come to the screen and we're going to start working, doing the calculations. I've got my calculator ready, I've got my highlighters ready, I've got everything, my extra notes ready, just so that we can make sure that once siyaqala sipusha nje one way. Let's get into this. All right, grade 12s, we are back with mathematical literacy. Ula no Mr. FIkeni, who is of course Mr. Maths Lit himself. Just before we get into the class, I just want to give you this information. Make sure that you go to our page, Bridgewood Educational Services. You like our page. That's on Facebook, and then you can also go on Instagram and follow either our page or myself. Of course, our page is the same name, Bridgewood Educational Services. Or if you want to follow me, you can follow me at Pinda the Great FIkeni on Instagram. And then that's the end of that. Let's get into it, guys. So I said to you guys, into ngifuna ukuyenza namhlanje ngifuna ukuthi before singene into the actual calculations senze ibalo, ngifuna ukuthi nginichazele nje kabanzi ngayo i-maths literacy, and so that we can be able to get a sense yokuthi yiziphi izinto umuntu ekumele focus kuzona meyongena ephepheni, you know. A lot of you guys ningena ephepheni, you have anxiety, you are fearful, you are doubtful, you don't know if you learned enough, you don't know if the information that you have is enough. So it's important ukuthi umuntu asheshe ahlube early. You separate between what is important for you and what is not important for you, and what you really need to know and what you're really battling with, and maybe uzoizama leyo nto leyo, but you know ukuthi that is not your core focus area. That is very important in all things muzenza, ukuthi wazi ukuthi which is your strong point and which is your weak point. And that's why I want to, before we actually get into the real teaching of the lesson namhlanje, ngifuna ukuthi nginichazele nje ukuthi i-Maths Lit yiziphi izinto ekumele niyibuke, yiziphi izinto ekumele nifocus kuzona. Today, after today's class, you'll have a better sense. You'll know what when I go into the paper, I'm touching this, this, and this. So in front of me, I also have my tablet out, my screen out. This is where I'm going to be doing the class. I have iPaper Lango 2019, mid-year paper, June paper. We're going to be working on this paper holistically today. We're going to touch different sections, of course. I think I'll separate it into various parts. So part 1, maybe we'll just touch on question 1 and question 2, and then part 2 will go into question 3 and question 4, so that we may have enough time to actually not just do the actual question and answering of the paper, but to really just touch on the topics in assist. So masikhuluma nge-maths literacy, guys, sikhuluma nge-subject separated into 2 main categories, okay? We look at what we call ama basic skills topics, and then we have also what we call application skills topics. So as a university graduate, of course, which I am, in university we have something that we call Bloom's taxonomy. This is just an extra piece of information. Bloom's taxonomy, it's basically a scaling system whereby you take izinto from the point of ease to the point of difficulty. So AMA questions, the way they are scaled from being easy to being difficult. So it's usually calculated in various ways, but in a maths lit form, we have AMA levels. So what you'll find is level 1 represents your easy questions, and then level 4, 5 moving upwards represents your more difficult questions. So what will happen is, if we're talking about basic skills, it's still AMA level 1 and level 2 type questions. These are entry-level type questions, very basic to understand, but not always easy to get, because they require concentration, and they also require you to have a very good understanding of English lebhaliwe, nanokuthi isum require what from you. What does the sum actually require from you, or what does the problem require of you? Then, of course, when you graduate from AMA basic skills, we then have what we call AMA application skills. These are your level 3 type questions and your level 4 type questions. Much more difficult, require much more interpretation. Also, idinga AE analysis nje clean kahle. What I'd say is, though, AMA level 1 and 2 questions are mostly found in your paper 1. Okay, they will test your basic know-how, and then they'll also look at your understanding of AMA routine procedures. How well versed are you in those type of things? As I said, the most important thing kuleyo space leso ukuthi ukwazi ukuba na high concentration levels, and then also kumele ube clean ngalento le. Kumele ube clean la. Clean. Know your calculator. We have a calculator yakho, and when you go into a paper, you have to have a scientific calculator, guys. You can't go in with these older calculators, because they'll definitely delay you in terms of time. So, as I said, level 1 and 2 questions mostly found in paper 1. 90% of paper 1 is level 1 and 2 questions. And then I'd say in paper 2, you're looking at around 15 to 25% of these level 1 and 2 questions are also found go paper 2B. Now, that's a very small percentage, meaning that 85%, 75 to 85% of paper 2 will be made up of level 3 and level 4 type questions. These are your more challenging application questions, okay? So just to continue on, in terms of AMA application skills topics, some of the things that you're really looking at with paper lakho, you're looking at interpretation, you're looking at AMA numbers, you're looking at calculations, you're looking at patterns and representations. These are things that are all going to come up in your application skills topics. Furthermore, to add to that, you'd probably also be encountered with isn't as fun no finance, measurement, your maps, your plans, representations. You have stuff like data handling, and also, of course, one of the more challenging topics, which is probability. And this is all found in your paper 2. So paper 2, holistically, we can say is a very challenging paper. So you can't land. So what we can say, paper 2 is a very challenging paper. Yeah, what we can definitely say that paper 2 is our more challenging paper, and it requires you to have much more skills that you've practiced over and over and over. Of course, eMaths Lit is not necessarily the same as eMaths Pure, but as with any other mathematical or practical subject, it does require a lot of practice. So you would have had to have practiced over and over and over to really do well go paper 2 work. So I'd say what we can get from this mini presentation that I've made for you is that paper 1 weight is essential. Paper 1, we have to ensure which is solo 85%, 90%, 95%. That will put us in a good situation, so that masasingena paper 2, even if umhlambu ucosho 65%, utolo 60%, maybe if you're really struggling utolo 55%, 50%, you know that you will still be able to pass because of the work that you've done in paper 1. So I had stated Gunina earlier on Uguti, this thing is very important. Calculator, very important. I think sometimes if your school does allow you, you should also be able to take some highlighters with you into your paper, so that you can be able to highlight important pieces of information that you're going to be using. If they're not allowing you to use a highlighter, you can definitely use a pen to underline, and make sure at every point in time when you are reading, you are picking out the most critical points kuyona i-problem yakho presentwe nayo. This will allow you ukuthi muyibuka information usuyihlaziya kube lula ukuthi ubone ukuthi oh, this is what they really require of me, because what happens is the English that is given to you, it seems muyifunda for the first time ingathi hayi into basic, kanti iyadinga ukuthi uyiphinde until you really understand it kahle ukuthi what it requires of you. So really reading, underlining, highlighting, that is very important. And then something that is also often overlooked, abantu abangayinaki, i-formula sheet, guys. I-formula sheet yakho will make the world of difference for you, especially if you are someone ongakwazi ukuthi acram izinto or ongakwazi ukubamba i-information emqondweni wakhe for long periods of time. Uyayidinga i-formula sheet yakho, although some of the formulas are quite basic, but to have that reassurance yokuthi mhlambe ngingenile ephepheni ngafreeza ngangazi ukuthi yonke into yavela ngathi ihambile, then I can always pull out my formula sheet ngisebenzise yona ukuthi ngithola ama formulas, ngicalculate izinto. Once you have your formula sheet, you have your calculator, just do very good reading and basic understanding skills and you'll definitely pass your paper. So we're going to go through this step by step in Zohamba Nani, guys, from this point until the next 4, 5, 6 months, whatever is going to be given to us by the Department of Education. Class. I'm going to be with you guys every step of the way, ensuring you can either ask me questions, you can call me up, you can send me a WhatsApp text, you can hit me up on Instagram, wherever you see me. Let's talk Maths Lit, let's do Maths Lit, let's get Maths Lit right. Because there's nothing worse, guys, than having to repeat your year just because you just failed to focus in these couple of months and actually just give yourself holistically to umsebenzi wakho esikolo. So this is a great opportunity. I'm going to ensure that most of these Maths Lit classes are offered out there for free. They're going to be on Facebook. They're going to be some of them on WhatsApp and on Instagram, just as short snippets. But I'm going to ensure that even in certain instances that I do go live and do live classes for you guys to be able to work with me while I'm doing these classes. Really, please, guys, immerse yourself in this work. Take the opportunity as it is presented to you. Next year sonke singene enyuvesi. This is Bridgewood Educational Services. This is FIkeni, and we are now going to step into the next level. We're going into the screen. With screening, I'm going to remove my face. I don't think you guys need to see my face. The most important thing is my calculations, and I need as much space as I possibly can have on the screen so that you guys can be able to see all the workings that I'm doing. We're going to focus on this. This is our first class essentially, but as time goes by, I'm going to be populating you guys with these type of classes all the time. Bridgewood Educational Services, we are there for the learners, we are there for the community, we are there for South Africa. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram at Bridgewood Educational Services, or follow me, FIkeni, Pinda the Great FIkeni on Instagram. Let's get into the actual class. Sharp. Grade 12s, we're now back. We're actually going to get into our actual class now. Just before we get into it, let me explain to you the layout here too. On my right hand side, which is this side, the one that is just zoomed in, you have our question paper. So basically that is our question paper. And then on my left hand side, we have, I'll just pull up the left hand side right now. Let me just quickly delete this item that is showing up. On my left hand side, we then have our actual addendum. So right hand side is our question paper, left hand side is our addendum, and then above everything we have our actual screen whereby we'll be making all of our notes as the class begins. Let's not waste any time, guys. Let's actually get into it. Let me just delete this. So we're going to go to the left hand side, of course, and open up our question paper. Now usually what would happen is at this point in time you'd have to actually read the instructions and information oyinikeziwe lana, so that ukwazi ukuthi nawe uzifamiliarize nokuthi iphepha li require what of you. But because njengamanje sizama ukuthi sonke isikhathi nanokuthi simaximize isikhathi sethu ekufundeni kwethu, we're going to skip this section. But anytime when the exam, this is one of the most important sections, guys, because if you do the wrong thing you will lose a lot of marks. So always make sure ukuthi we have funda nje specifically in detail ukuthi yini edingakalayo ephepheni lakho. So as we move on, we're actually going to be given a questionnaire. So question 1 wethu Question 1 says, Annexure A shows a revolving credit loan taken out from Woolworths Financial Services. And then the note below says, a revolving credit plan is a loan where a person can reuse all or part of the money that has been paid back towards the loan without applying for it again. So that's the critical information. Let's just read it again. It's in step by step now. It's Annexure A shows us a revolving credit account or a revolving credit loan. So that's the first point of information of Finesse. You guys should highlight that that this is a revolving revolving credit loan. And then the following thing that is important, of course, it's taken out at Woolworths. Then what do they say? A revolving credit loan is a loan where a person can reuse. So umuntu uyakwazi ukuthi reuse all or part of the money that has been paid back towards the loan without applying for it again. So you don't need to apply again. You don't need to reapply it. This is the pieces of information that we can say we have extracted from this question as we move along. Guys, it is very important, as I stated even before, let me check our time. So make sure that you actually read the questions and understand everything carefully. Let us actually pull up our annexure njengamanje. Let us go here and get our pen tool so that it does not affect us all the time. Here's our annexure. So annexure A, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an annexure A slightly bigger. No, that is not what I want to do. I do not want to look at it as a book. I want to pull it up as an edit basis. Okay, let's actually extend annexure A way too, so that we can be able to see it clearly. There we go. So what does annexure A say to us? What we're going to do is we're going to use this pen tool, guys, just to highlight some of the most critical pieces of information. Automatically, when you look at this a statement that is given to us, the first thing I'm going to say to you, don't look at this as an accounting statement. Look at this as simply a maths literacy problem, because some of us are not necessarily good in accounting. Some of us are afraid of accounting. So that we are not confused and we don't think about many concepts, let us just concentrate on this particular statement simply as a mathematical literacy problem, and we let the questions guide us and not worry so much about the accounting implications of it, because that may make you fearful and you might start being doubtful. Accounting while. So what we're going to do is pieces of information. The first thing we can see on our top left hand side is that the statement belongs to this individual right here. Susan Fisa, PO Box 271, it's Kimberly. The next piece of information that is critical is on the right hand side of the actual annexure. All of this that I'm circling right now, it's very important. You have your statement date, you have your payment date, you have your account. Sorry about that. Let us just undo that. Undo again, and then we move on. Let me just fix this quickly. Our actual technology is giving us slight problems, but that's nothing to worry about. So you have your statement date, and then you have your payment date, you have your account number, and then you have your installment frequency. These are all pieces of information, guys, that may or may not be asked as we move into the question. So you have to always look out for those things that you can see. These are things that might be important. Then as we look at the actual statement itself, you can see as you go down towards the bottom of it, A or corner. There's an A that is there, so surely that A is going to require something of us. But generally thereafter, the information is quite simple to interpret. The first transaction that is put there on the 30th of December, which is roughly here, if you can see my small cursor, it says head office debit order payment 443 as a credit, and then you have your head office monthly account fee of 38 rand. This is an amount that is charged to the account, and then you also have your total interest, which is also charged to the account of 221. Then you move on to the fees and insurance, opening balance, payment and closing balance. There, as it goes, we enter then into the loan taken on the 9th of October 2015 over 36 months, the opening balance of which is 2,658. Interest charged is 55 rand and 5 cents. A payment of 153 rand 46 cents was made, and then there's a closing balance of 2,559 rand and 79 cents. So it's basically a similar thing that goes down, and then ultimately at the bottom we have our outstanding loan amount, and then the loan amount that is available, and then our next installment due. Now we can then go back to the actual questioning. Let me reduce the size of our addendum again so that we can actually use our notes as well. Now as we go back to the actual question and answer, let me delete this quickly. Let us go back. Now let us read our questions. Question 1, guys, as we enter into this, I want us to really focus on this, concentrate so that we don't make any mistakes. The only reason why you do not get marks in this section or these sections is because you are not concentrated and focused. So let us look at question 1.1.1. Identify the borrower of the revolving credit loan. So there's only one piece of information that refers to umuntu, so there's no way we can actually be confused. Who is the actual person who has taken the revolving credit loan? Susan Fisser. We've already highlighted Nkamalake at the top. Sabon and address yakho Susan Fisser. So that one is very, very simple. It's just looking at the information over here on the left hand side. If you can see my cursor that is moving around, looking at the information that has already been presented to us, and then we go into number 2. What does number 2 require from us? It says write down the loan amount. Okay, the loan amount that is available on this statement. So let's actually underline that piece of information. Identify the loan amount. That's the loan amount. Now that's why it was important for us to actually highlight our actual pieces of information, so that when we go back to the addendum, we don't have to start from the beginning. Siqale phansi futhi sizama ukuthi sicheck information. Sesiyabona manje ukuthi izinto sezivele zihighlightiwe for us. We can see ukuthi when we look at the statement and we read it, we've already read it, sisifikile lapha enzansi sabona ukuthi i-loan amount available already, it is a clear amount of 548 rand nama cent au 37. So information nje leyo elula, very easy for us to get. This is uFomax kumele sesudlile nje kalula without having to actually crack our minds sicabange kakhulu. I'm going to delete this underline, but you guys have to always look for those pieces of information and make sure that you've underlined and kept them. So the next one, 1.1.3, write down the number of statements the borrower will receive in 1 year. Now this piece of information requires you to think kancane, kumele ucabange nje kancane. Ithini? Write down the number of statements. So in number yama statements the borrower can receive nini ngesikhathi esingakanani in 1 year. Let's put this in here and make it bigger. 1 year. So it's general ukuthi ama statements umuntu angawathola. Sesiyazi ukuthi statement yini. Nasi statement lesi siphambi kwethu on the left hand side. So manje yasibuza ukuthi ama statements umuntu angawathola enyakeni mangaphi. Now you need to ask yourself ukuthi what informs that information? What actually where do you actually get to understand ukuthi umuntu ama statements angawathola mangaphi? And if we look at the information that we've been given, it is going to be very simple for us to see because we've already started to do a highlighting here too. So we look at the type of statement that is given to us. Statement date January 14 2017. You can see payment due date is the following month, and then critically to look at is installment frequency. You can see that it's a monthly installment frequency, meaning that the account is regulated in inyanga. Then naturally the next thing that we need to ask ourselves or look at is if statements if account yethu is regulated on a month-to-month basis and our payments ethu on a month-to-month basis, that means that every time ngikhoka shuthi ngizosithola statement, every time I'm making a payment or every month I'm making a payment, I'm going to receive a statement. That means if I'm paying on a monthly basis, naturally then how many statements would I receive in a 12-month space? A very simple answer, which is, of course, it should be 12 months. Let us put that down. The number so the question says write down the number of statements. So spala in number yama statements umuntu angawathola in 1 year. Simple, out 12. Thola statement inyanga nenyanga siyakutshela ukuthi how many times, siyakutshela ukuthi how much you need to pay kuleyo nyanga leyo esikuyona. Again, very simple. And then I think the next question then requires us to have some external information that we would have had to have received already before in the past. Itile question, explain the term debit order. Ngiyazi iningi lethu uvele bekumele basake sayizwa either from our parents or generally nje makhulunywa la ngaphandle ngama debit order. Umuntu especially abazali bahlezi bekhala ngama debit order, What is a debit order? Basically, a debit order, for those of you that don't know, because some of you might not know this, but a debit order, it is basically a payment that is taken or made from your account on a monthly basis by a third party. So when we talk about a third party, we talk about something like a bank, a financial institution that is charging you on a monthly basis for AMA payments. So we can put it in very simple English. It is money deducted. It deducted debit order. It is money that is deducted from your bank account. It is money that is deducted from your bank account on a monthly basis. So basically it's designed ukuthi yenze izinto zibe lula for wena, ungadinga ukuthi uhlezi uye bank noma uhlezi uya kule ndawo udinga ukukhokha kuyona uyobanikeza imali. Simply imali bayayithathela kuwena inyanga nenyanga to keep your account in good standing. So we graduate from that question and we go to number 5. Number 5, calculate the number of days from the statement date to the payment due date. Nyakumbula ke sisa highlighter we addendum yet we had identified some key important information. Manje sithini lento kuthini? Ithi calculate the number of days from the statement date. Siphi statement date sethu. If we go back to the actual addendum on the left hand side and we just click on it, sizobona ukuthi bese sivele siyitholile thina i-payment date ne-statement date. I-statement date sethu sithini? What is happening now? A statement date sethu, let's pull up our pen tool. Our statement date is clear. It is 14 January 2017. And then it says what is the number of days from the statement date to the payment date. I-payment date yethu inini ingomhlaka 8 February 2017. So sekumele ke manje senze a simple mathematical problem solving. From umhlaka 14 zingaphi insuku until size sifike kumhlaka 8 February. So the important thing to do lana is to understand that when we start counting our days, into engawenza ube wrong kulelo khonjani kule question ukuthi ubale ngendlela incorrect, kumele uqale ngosuku lakho lokuqala, which is umhlaka 14 January all the way to umhlaka 8 February. So it's mhlaka 14 January all the way to mhlaka 8 February. So mase ibala lezo insuku lezo uzoqala ngawo mhlaka 14, mhlaka 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's 10 days all the way to mhlaka 23. Then the next cycle 20. Okay, so we said it's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Then city 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1, 2. So it's another 10 days to mhlaka 2. So this already says no 20 days. Then again city let's start it from the beginning. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's an additional 6 days. Sesitholile manje ukuthi insuku zethu kahle kahle it's 10 days oqala, 10 days wesibili, then lo 6 days. So it's in total 26 days. Very simple. The important thing ukuthi umuntu kumele enze sure ukuthi usebenzisa lolu suku lolu lokuqala alnikeziwe to use as the first number that you count from. So from umhlaka 14, that's when you start counting. Uyawubala now umhlaka 14 January, and then you end exactly on umhlaka 8. That way you will receive insuku eziwu 26. Very simple calculation. So a question here to my set, calculate the number of days from the statement date to the payment due date. That is simply going to be number 5. Let's erase that quickly. Let's pull it up pen later elbow. Number 5 way to kuzobangu 26 days. And we've gotten our marks lap. You have to show working out yako. You might not necessarily work out ngalendlela mina work out ngayo, which is this. You might not necessarily work it out, and you can work it out in a much simpler way and just do a simple subtraction and addition. From umhlaka 8 February, 8 Feb minus 14 Jan, and then you actually see the number of days. For you to be able to collect ama marks akho kahle, you have to show ama workings akho. Then we actually move on to the final question, which is 1.1.6. Utini, calculate the closing balance A of the loan taken on 29/04/2016. So number 6 is now requiring us to do quite a bit of work. It's calculate the closing balance of the loan taken out on 29/04/2016. So if we look at our actual addendum, check our addendum, sibona u-A nangu A bese sakhuluma ngawo lo A ukuthi mhlawumbe khona into ezoqhamuka kulo A. Now, how do we actually work this out, guys? I think the first thing that will definitely assist us ukuthi sibuke le problem or le statement lesi esingaphezulu. Let me actually highlight it kahle so that nisibone. Let us look at the actual problem le ngaphezulu. Ithini ngithina kula ukuthi lesi statement, the opening balance ithi iwu 2,658 rand and 20 cents. Then ithini ngithina ithi i-interest echargiwe lana ngu-55 rand and 5 cents. And then ibesithi payment eyenziwe 153 and 46 cents, and then we have our closing balance of 2,559 rand and 79 cents. This information is critical for us to understand what is going to be happening. Sorry about that. That is not what I intended to do. It's going to help us in understanding the information that has been presented to us here below, because isinikeza and exactly the same information, and then the simple thing ekufuneka siyenze thina kumele sithole ukuthi u-A ubani. So for those of you that don't understand what is happening, kumele nenze sure ukuthi niqale ni-check ukuthi lana ukuze kube khona lo closing balance ka 2,559 and 79 cents kwenzekeni. So naturally you can see ukuthi lo 153 lo okhona nalo 55 angeke ba kube ukuthi ba edwe kulo 2,658 2,658 wokuqala, which is here. It's impossible because that would mean i-closing balance yethu le kwamele ibe number ephezulu. So automatically masibona ukuthi closing balance number below or encane, it shows us ukuthi for a matter of fact there has been a reduction that has actually been done. Ku-reduce kangakanani? Is it just reduced from 55? If you minus 55 wako from low 2,658 oseqaleni and 20 cents, it would give you an amount of roughly 2,603 and 15 cents, of which it's not the closing balance. So surely there's been an additional subtraction which has been made, which is less subtraction that we can attribute to 153. So basically we can see ukuthi ukuthola le closing balance le enzansi, which is 2,559 rand and 79 cents. There's been a subtraction of these two numbers, 153 rand and 46 cents, 55 rand and 5 cents from the main opening balance. So actually not just I'm actually making a mistake, guys, a very critical mistake that you guys should never ever make. You have to really look at the sum correctly, and I think it's a good thing just a lapse in concentration so that you guys can also be able to realize what wenzakalani. Into yenzakelile lana sithole i-opening balance yethu, it was 2,658 rand and 20 cents. Kule opening balance kwase kwaba khona i-interest efakwayo, i-interest yamalini ya 55 rand. So le interest le kahle iyona iya addwa, you add the interest to 2,658 and then once you've received that amount you then subtract. Yilapho ke sesiqala khona ukusubtracta khona i-payment le eyenziwe ithina abantu benze i-payment. So kahle imali esiyisubtractayo la imali ye-payment, siyisubtracta kuyini? Kulama amounts la awu-2 esehlangene. Let me undo that. So the reason why ngingena kule is because it's going to assist us masesifika la enzansi la kumele sithole khona u-A. Into eyenzakalayo sithi 2000, ngicela ke nivula ama calculator enu manje, 2,658 rand and 20 cents plus u55 rand and 5 cents usinikeza malini? Isinikeza imali engango 2,000 ngasibhalela icele la kuma notes ethu, isinikeza amount engu 2,713 rand, and 25 cents. Now that is our amount ekhona, and then thina sabe senzani? Senza i-payment. Senza i-payment kamalini? Let us just remove lama lokonjana. Let's do our undo. Senza i-payment yamalini la. Sorry guys, just technology is delaying us kancane. Senza i-payment ka 153 rand and 46 cents. So what we're going to do now is minus lo 153 rand and 25 cents, 153 rand and 46 cents, actually 46 cents. So minus lapho, and we're going to get an answer. Masiyithola leyo answer leyo sesizobona ke ukuthi i-closing balance yethu sifike kanjani kuyona. If le mali le masisubtracta lo 153 masisubtracta la ku 2,713 ingasinikezi this closing balance esibonayo la enzansi, that means something is wrong with calculation yethu. Let us actually do it. So it's 2,713 and 25 minus 153 rand and 46 cents. 46 cents. Let's get the 46 in. It gives us exactly 2,559 rand and 79 cents. Exactly the closing balance ekhona. So now sesiyabona ukuthi kahle ukuze uyithole le closing balance yini esubuyenziwe. Usubuthathe let's try and get another color quickly. Asithole noma ulo pink lo. Sithi usubuthathe i-opening balance yakho y add i-interest. So you take your opening balance, let's extend this, and then you add the interest. Sorry about that, guys. You add the interest. No. Let's reduce the size so that so Yes, you take your opening balance, you add your interest, and then you will receive a certain amount. And then once you receive that amount, you subtract the actual payments that you have made. And then that gives you your closing balance, which is 2,559. We're going to do the exact same thing. Sesifika la kwethu a problem. La kumele sithole khona A. So as I said to you guys, kumele senza ama workings ethu so that sikwazi ukuthi sithole ama marks ethu ephelele ngale ndlela ayiwona. So let us do the actual working. Ithini working yethu la? Sino opening balance ka 6,859 and 99 cents. Then senza njani? Ku-addwa i-interest ka 144. An interest of 144 rand and 4 cents. Once we add the interest le bese kwenzakalani, let us calculate the total amount. I could use a calculator phone, but I prefer to sebenzisa ama scientific calculator aseceleni. That's why I'm calculating eceleni. You guys should have your own scientific calculator so that even further on sikwazi ukuthi i-scientific calculator kube yiyona esisizayo. So sithi 6,859 rand and 99 cents plus 144 rand and 4 cents. Isinikeza amount kabani lokho 7,004 rand nama cent awu 3. This is now the amount sesihlanganise la i-interest yethu plus the opening balance, our OP, opening balance. Now, once we've received these, sesenzani thina siyafika si ngama customers senzani siyakhokha. Sikhokha malini? We have paid an amount of 221 rand and 89 cents. 89 cents. This is the payment that we have made towards i-loan yethu. Now, le mali le sikhokhile yehlisa ini isikweletu sethu. Nasi phela isikweletu sethu yilesi sila. Thina manje sesikhokhe u221, therefore our loan amount is being reduced. Let us then reduce our loan amount. We then say 7,004.3 cents. 3 cents minus bani 221 and 89 cents. Let us then do the calculation. Minus 221.89. It gives us an amount of 6,000. So say palare pants amount yethu siyithola isitholo 6,782 and 14 cents. So siyabona ke ukuthi manje i-answer yethu ikanjani guys. It is a very simple process manje sesikwazile ukuthi simthole u-A wethu. So we can then finally say ukuthi u-A equals sithi A equals 6,782 rand and 14 cents. That is now us getting all of our marks, 6,782 rand and 14 cents. Now, of course, guys, you have to ensure when you present a much better isam yako than what I've done mina. But siyawathola nje ama marks ethu lana completely, and we are then closing question 1.1.1 or question 1.1. And question 1.1, we have now received a total yama marks because yonke into yethu ikwazile ukuthi nje ihambe in a very smooth way. What has assisted us kakhulu, into esisiza kakhulu ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi singene kwi-addendum, which is here on our left. Singene kwi-addendum, identify the key pieces of information. Once we've identified our key pieces of information, we then use that to actually inform how we do the answering of our questions. Question 1. So guys, this is a very simple step and a very simple way yokuthi sizitholela ama marks awu 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's no reason why umuntu lana engamelanga athole a total amount of 12 marks easily, 12 marks without having any problems. So this is question 1. Question 2, I will then do it separately just so that I can be able to give you guys time to digest this. But essentially, you question here to we're going to do different parts now. I'm going to move on to 1.2 and then we're going to do 1.3, whereby holistically kulama question 1 wonke we need to get a total of 32 marks. And there's no reason why we should not get a total, guys. Lana kumele total in total, so that says by the time we enter into question 2, we've already collected ama marks etwalula. It's in keeping nalento bengikhuluma yama level level 1 and level 2 questions. And so this is a presentation here too for question 1 in maths literacy there. You are with Mr. Maths Lit FIkeni. Thank you guys for actually tuning in. Make sure to follow Bridgewood, which is our page on Instagram and on Facebook. It's Bridgewood Educational Services. And then you can follow me separately at FIkeni or the Great FIkeni on Instagram. Thank you guys for your time. Goodbye.
Bacela kakhumalo bangicela la kaZungu bacela nakashanda